We all know that pattern routing on the router table is easy. When your work is laying flat and your pattern is on top and you're running your pattern up against the bearing here, and that will allow you to recreate this as many times as you want, and they'll all be perfect matches. But the problem comes in here is what do you want to do, or what can you do if this is edge banded top and bottom, and you want to flush trim that edge banding flush to both sides. So now you can lay it flat, set up some kind of a bridge system and run your router down the bridge this way and get it close like that. Or you can stand it up and run it against the fence and use your ball bearing here tucked inside a fence. And that's what I've done here. I've created a fence that I can do that with, and it has some adjustability to it, so I can bring this over, set this till I'm just, what I like to do is have it so that the bearing is cleared or buried into the fence just enough so that bearing doesn't spin. I'll lock my fence down, and now I can adjust this part of the fence up and down depending upon the size of my edge banding here. So 1/4 of an inch, let's just say it's 1/4 of an inch. I can set a couple spacers in here, or maybe it's a little bit less than 1/4. Set this in here, lock down my fence, and I've got a relief area for that edging to slide under and now slide over. As long as my piece is at least 12 plus inches tall. That's what this measures. So let's just say it's 14. I've got no problem now with that clearance. If I use this board as an example again, so now you can see that my edging is tucked under the fence, and there's no interference up here as I slide it along. But what are you going to do if your workpiece is smaller than this? Now your edging would tuck under, but it would force the top out a little bit depending upon how much it hangs over, and that's what you don't want. That you want this to ride flush and get a nice edge. So I created another auxiliary part of this fence that I can bolt to it and give me that relief I need right here. So this accessory fence bolts to the other adjustable part of the fence. And now I can adjust this to whatever I want. Let's just say I'll leave the 1/4 inch in there again. Tighten this down. It would have to be tightened before I put this on. But now I've got my relief here and I've got it up here. So anything smaller than this, I'd have to cut this back or make a smaller version of it. I don't envision that ever happening, but now you can see I've got that clearance I need for a piece that's this wide, let's say. So that's my vision for this. I can adjust the gap. I can adjust for my piece size. Let's just say I was doing drawer fronts here, and doors here. So I want to have as much surface as I can to run that workpiece against it. So if you're interested, I've got a set of plans for this, and I'm going to post, I can send them to you. And if you're also interested, I'm going to post another video, the build video that I made of this. But I just wanted to kind of explain to you what I did when I made this thing. So I'm going to take it off of here and show you quick the components. And if you're interested, let me know. So again, this is an accessory that bolts to the front. And this is about 6 inches tall. And this is about 32 inches long. So you can see that this is nothing more than just a board with my cutout for the router bit, and then 3 mounting screws. Then this piece, I've got these holes here that allow me to access my flathead bolts and T-nuts that are behind this. I gotta get that out of the... And so now I can remove this as a unit. Well, you can see here too, before I do that, my slots and these bolts then allow for that movement. So up and down there. This is about 3/4 of an inch wide and 2 inches tall. So now the whole thing will come off. I didn't tighten up all the bolts. So now you see the accessory board here, the adjustable height part of it is done with 4 T-nuts that are embedded in the back. Here are my nuts and bolts to attach it to my extrusion. And then on the back of this 1/2 inch piece, I've got those 3 T-nuts embedded into it. Now these I had to modify because they were too long, so I had to grind those down so they didn't protrude. But pretty simple really, and but it works really well. So let me just take this apart quick here. So some bolts with washers. So there you go, there's the 3 pieces. My bolt pattern to flush up to the extrusion, my T-nuts to hold the adjustable board, my access holes to tighten up my flathead bolts to the T-nuts. And you could do that before you put it on, but if you don't get it set up just right, then you may want to make some minor adjustments. That's why I have this in there. And then my slots are routed, the slot for the 1/4 inch bolt, and then another slot for the thickness of the washer. So that mounts like that. And then if you're doing smaller work, this comes in and mounts to the front of the adjustable piece. So that's it. I think this will be a nice accessory for any router table. You can adapt it to any fence really, if you wanted to, and I'm looking forward to using it. So if you're interested in plans, let me know. If you're interested in watching the build video, that'll be posted next. Thanks for watching.